Here we talk about success, God-driven success. We talk about you, we talk about God, and we talk about the partnership that exists when we walk with God, follow His ways, and that we achieve a level of success that is not possible otherwise. God is a good God. He just didn't design you and me to just come to the earth and struggle through it, and then at the end of it and try to understand what happened. What we couldn't figure that out. What career should I have had? What should I have done with my time? I know we struggle as humans with all these things about money, about careers, about elevation, about starting a business, about relationships, but God did not leave us alone. Jesus said, I'm leaving the Holy Spirit with you. And we're told over and over in the word that you truly are not alone. So there's a strategy, there's a plan. God has actually said, one of my favorite verses, I think it's Psalm 32 verse 8. If I call it my favorite verse and I get it wrong, man. But it says that I will direct you along the best pathways for your life. I will advise you and watch over you. God does not just leave us hanging, especially in our careers, in our businesses, in things that affect our income, because those things affect us in a big way, y'all. They affect us in a big way. We can't live ignoring them. And as a Christian, I used to believe that I was higher than finances, higher than career stuff, higher than business. But you find that over time, you will be praying for your rent. You'll be praying for the very things that you're saying you're higher than. So it's just important for us to understand as believers that we are in a world that is material, and God has put us here, not because we are going to become unspiritual or whatever. God has put us here because He knows He wants us to conquer. He wants us to overcome. He wants us to dominate a certain area and find that godliness within us, that rulership within us, and exert it in a certain space. You see? So because we believe that God has designed us for success, then we know that we have to walk with Him. We're not questioning whether He wants us to succeed or not, but we are understanding that walking with Him is what brings success. Understanding how He works, understanding His voice, following His instructions is what brings great success. And today we're in Proverbs 22. Proverbs 22 is loaded. I was reading it and I was like, yes, I would make this video 3 hours or more, because we'll just go verse by verse and just go through it, and it's really, really powerful. But then I just drew out some top 6 or so top success strategies. They're timeless because these success strategies work. They are not only going to work for you and me, they work for anyone who taps into them. And number one to the strategies is a good reputation. The Bible says a good reputation is better than wealth, is better than riches. Can you imagine? How many of us would be able to believe that? Most of us would be like, you know what, I don't care what people think about me, give me the wealth. But God says if you have a good reputation, that is better than wealth. So if you have a choice to choose, other versions actually say if you have a choice to choose between wealth and a good reputation, choose a good reputation. And this to me just resonated deeply, because that is the power of branding. Imagine all the top companies that you know. I'll mention some: Nike, Apple, what other top companies are there? But their names are the brand. Yeah, so they can do whatever they want. If they show you the brand, you believe a certain quality, you have a certain expectation. You can part with your money, knowing that if I get a Nike shoe, it will represent. If I get an Apple product, it will represent. It won't be rubbish. You know, so those are reputation. That is a reputation. That is a name. And God says, if you have a choice between wealth and the good name, choose a good name. And most of us sell that good name because we have this short-sightedness. We don't think a name matters. You have real needs that are happening right now, and so you choose to trade your name in. How do you trade your name in? If you choose maybe to do something wrong, like corrupt something, you're gossiping, you're lying, you are not doing excellent work, you're being lazy, you're not showing up correctly, you don't look your best, you're not presenting yourself excellently. That creates a name, and that name will speak for you before you enter places. So if somebody mentions you, what are they thinking? Are they thinking excellence? Are they thinking amazing? Are they thinking faithfulness? Are they thinking integrity? Are they thinking hard work? Or what are they thinking? Yeah, so God says you have to work on that name. Don't take it lightly. Don't say it doesn't matter. Only God's name matters. You're living in this world with people, and it is God Himself who is telling you that people have to think well of you. It doesn't mean that you should be a people pleaser. That's a whole different game. This is not people pleasing. This is you building a personal brand. And so you have to be intentional about the brand you want to build. What do you want to be known for? You can't be known for everything, but there's things you can specifically align yourself to. And it would be great if those things that you want to align yourself to come from the word. So you don't want to be like, I just want to be a people pleaser. I don't just want to make everybody happy. That will just stress you up. But you can choose, I want to be a person who is excellent. I want to be a person who is punctual. I want to be a person who looks who looks strong, who looks healthy. I want to be, you can choose what your values are, but you have to be clear about your branding. If you are not clear about your branding, it will speak negatively for you and to make your work harder. You might have the anointing, you might have the blessing, the talent, but if your branding is attracting negativity, or it's pointing in a negative direction, you won't be able to make traction. And you waste so much time praying, crying to God, asking for answered prayers, asking for God to show up for things that He has said. Work on your reputation, work on your branding. And so be intentional about that. So if you were going to build something today and you heard about somebody who does their work well, they do excellent work, but they won't do it on time and they won't show up sometimes, and you have to go at their pace, you will not work with them, no matter how talented they are. You see, reputation does a lot, the branding does a lot. And it's just, for me, it's just timeless to think that God is telling you that if you have been given a choice, choose reputation over riches. I'm like, most of us are not choosing that. As Christians, most of us are not choosing that. We trade it so easily. We take it too lightly. And you know that people right now who were rich in the past can have a name, right? That they were rich. You can know that they are rich. But if there's another person who had a reputation, their children will receive different reactions from people. So if your parents had a good reputation and they did good, you can go to a place and receive favor, even receive employment, even receive funding, whatever it is, you can receive what you want from having like a good reputation. But if you're a person who your parents were just rich, they didn't have a good reputation, but they were just rich, people can just say, oh, we know you, oh, we know your father's name, oh, that's lovely. But because there was no proper reputation, no branding, no name, no power in that name. Okay, sorry about that. So if you have to choose reputation, a good name over wealth. The next timeless success strategy from Proverbs 22 is prudency. I don't know if prudency is a word. I use it a lot. So maybe I'll just say a prudent person, becoming a prudent person. A prudent person is a person who foresees. They see beyond now and then they make adjustments in the present. You know how we all like prophets? Don't you like prophets? Real ones, okay? Real ones. A real prophet who can come to you and tell you that, okay, next year things are not going to go very well. Oh, the other year, or in your life right now, don't use this way, don't do that, don't invest this way. Oh, your career path won't go very well. You need to make adjustments. That's just nice. I feel like that's a blessing. People go to prophets a lot. Psychics are famous. People want to know, even horoscopes. People do all those things because they want to have some indicator. They want to foresee the future so they can have some comfort. The ability to foresee is not just going to come spiritually like that. There is an ability to foresee that you can cultivate. That is called prudency. That is being prudent. A person who then sits down and sees what is present and then calculates that, okay, from what is being projected, there will be economic challenges in 2025. Therefore, to prepare for that, I'm going to cut my expenses. I'm going to increase my savings. I'm going to increase my investments. I'm going to see, like you see, that person, when the year comes and there's challenges and economically, that person is going to float. But if things turn better and there were no challenges, that person is still going to float. They're going to do well, you see. So the ability to predict, to foresee, the ability to have prudence must be cultivated by you. How do you cultivate a prudent personality, a prudent perspective? Is you have to be diligent. You have to seek knowledge, right, about whatever area you're interested in. You have to seek understanding of that knowledge and then apply it. You can't be lazy and be prudent, because prudence is you just doing the work to have information and work on that information. I'll tell you an example of people that I said another thing. To develop a prudent personality or a prudent perspective, a strong prudent sense. I'm trying to move away from the word prudency because I think it's not a word. To develop prudency, I'm going to use it. To develop prudency, you need to make sure you're a calm person. You don't overreact or underreact. So therefore, you have no haste as well, like no rush. You don't do things out of rush. There's planning, there's understanding. And if you understand all these things, it's you knowing. It's you intentionally setting out to say, I want to know what is happening in the health sector, in the agriculture sector. I want to know what's happening with relationships. I want to know what's happening in the world. And then you position yourself correctly. You're not just knowing for the fun of it, but you're knowing and you're planning for it, and you'll be ready for it, right? So an example of a person who was prudent in the Bible is Rahab. Rahab knew that there were Israelites that were coming, and they were going to destroy Jericho. They were going to take over. They were taking over everything anyways. So to prepare, when she saw the spies, she made a deal with them in advance and saved her whole family. That is a person who could foresee. Yeah, you could stand on the wrong side and not do your calculations and not have information and just say, you know what, we'll be fine, God will keep us. But she knew, yeah, these people have been coming. And from what she understood, she explained to the spies who came to figure out how Israel was going to defeat Jericho. She said to them, we have heard of what you have done. We have understood that God has given you this land. And so I need to partner with you because I'm doing good to you. That is a person acting with prudency. Another person is Joseph. Joseph was very prudent in how he offered his advice to Pharaoh. He didn't just come and say, hey, man, your dream says there'll be 7 years of hunger and then there'll be 7 years of abundance and 7 years of hunger. Oh my goodness, that's just tough. No, he didn't say that. What he did say, though, was the truth, the dream. You have 7 years of abundance and then 7 years of hunger. But what you should do is then have a person who will be in charge and they will collect 20% of all the harvest in the years of abundance. And that's prudence. He was thinking beyond just offering the bad news. He was thinking, how can we overcome to take over? To win in the hard times. That is prudency. So he's giving this Pharaoh the strategy that, okay, we are foreseeing what's going to happen, but here's how we react. So prudence is you knowing, foreseeing what's going to happen, and then making adjustments in the now. If you know that next year is going to be tough, if you know that there'll be some downsizing in your office, if you know that AI is going to take over, if you know that there'll be like no rain next year and your economy is agricultural, if you know all these things, what are you doing about them? We have a tendency as believers to just be spiritual and just think God will take care of us. When things were hard last year, he did, and this year he'll do it again. It sounds like faith-filled, right? But it is also not really very, very wise, because wisdom allows you to see that, know that information, and take it to prayer and say, God, there's going to be challenges. How do you want us to pose? I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. How can I thrive? Because there's a guy, Isaac, in the Bible. There was a famine and everything was dying. People were moving out of the land, and God said, stay, plant. God gave him a strategy. So we're not supposed to just go like, you know what, God will just take care of us. It's just the way it is. No. We know God is going to take care of us, but he has a desire to partner with us for us to reflect his glory and his wisdom in the earth. How do we do that? By planning, by strategy, by being prudent. Right? So be a person that is prudent. I had another example of a person who was prudent, Proverbs 31 woman. As I was reading Proverbs 31, you see that this woman, one example of what she would do is that she would know that winter is coming, and she would prepare her whole household so that they are not going to suffer during winter. They would have the right clothes, and she would wake up in good time so everyone has food. That is just simple. It's a simple thing, but that is prudency. You are able to know that winter is coming. Everyone knows that winter is coming, summer is coming, and we act surprised. And for me, that was a big deal, because we struggle sometimes just because we don't have prudency. Like, you're pregnant, you're going to have a child in 9 months, you're trying for a child, so in your future there is a child, you have no savings for that child, you're not buying anything for that child, there is no faith there is no wisdom there is no prudency, right? You know that you want to study, you want to go do your masters, and you're not doing anything towards it, you're not saving anything towards it. That is not wise. I'm running away from saying that is foolish, but it is foolish, because you can't just act and hope God makes it work. The things become harder than they should be. Like having a child, sending your child to university, sending your child to a good school becomes harder because you didn't organize yourself, right? Having, there's a birthday next year and you want to have a great birthday, but you're not doing anything about it. So that then when the birthday comes, you take a loan or you struggle and you cry and say, oh, how come my things don't work? Plan. Be a person who is prudent. Foresee the things that are outside your control, like the economic situations and geographical situations with politics and stuff like that. Foresee those things and adjust. But also in your life, foresee some things and make adjustments. Don't ignore danger in the name of faith. Like, I'll overcome. Don't ignore danger. When God gives a warning or you have understood something, knowledge delivers you. Make adjustments. Yeah, move from whatever place it is. Run or apply for new jobs or interact. Make new connections. There's a guy in the Bible who was told that he was going to be fired, and he realized, I need to make friends before I'm fired, because his boss said, clean up before I fire you. You know what he did? He used his opportunity as a manager in that place to make connections. He knew that he was going to lose his job. He was like, I need these people to remember me, and to know that, I need to make friends. They should remember me and know that there's a good man who was good to us when he was a manager, so that then when he's in need, he's covered. Wisdom, prudency. We need that as Christians. We need to practice that. The next timeless success strategy from Proverbs 22 is true humility. I love this. It's like true humility and the fear of the Lord leads to riches, honor, and long satisfying life. If I told you that there is a guaranteed way for you to get riches, honor, and a long, satisfying life. You would want that. But if you hear that it's humility and fear of God, you might take it lightly. You might not be like, But you know what I did? I was like, let me just try to understand. Why is humility doing this? Humility is powerful. I just wrote a few things here, so I'll just read them out to you. Humility is powerful because it leads to better relationships. A humble person is a person who can acknowledge your feelings, who can go through life with you. They won't judge you. They will not be proud. They'll not be arrogant. They'll listen to you. So it leads to better relationships. And that is essential for success, even in your office, success in your business. You can connect with customers better. That is for success with your employees, success with your colleagues, success with your relationships, with your children, whoever. If you are humble like that, if you are able to have that kind of idea, like a humble predisposition, then you're going to have better relationships. But it also means you have an improved leadership. I already said you listen. That means you care genuinely. That means you can get other people's feedback, right? So it improves your leadership if you're humble, right? You are relatable. You're not lording it over people thinking you're better than everyone, right? So you will be a better leader. It fosters trust as well. People, if they find you relatable, if they find you as a person who really hears them and listens, there'll be trust, there'll be loyalty. It helps resolve conflict. It improves mental health. It just improves everything around you. Humility is more than just you acting as if you think you're nothing. No, humility is you being considerate of others, you thinking highly of other people, you knowing that you're not everything, you don't know everything. Yeah, and therefore relating. So if you meet somebody who is crying over maybe they've lost a dog or something, and you don't relate, if you don't relate to that, because I don't relate to most things like that because of where I'm coming from, I have learned that the humble thing to do there is not to make that pain somebody's going through, because I don't relate to it, to make it smaller. Be empathetic and just understand and listen and say, oh, is this hard for you? Like asking questions like that. Yes, it is hard for me. I just lost this. I just did that. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. I can imagine how hard it is. How can I help? That kind of thing. It allows you to foster good relationships, but it takes humility for you to not to take people seriously, to care, to see people, and to not think you are everything. You're the center of a universe, in any topic. Sometimes you might not think you're the center of the universe in some areas, but you think you are in some areas. So being able to be humble and moderated like that improves so much. Right? And this is why God is saying humility plus the fear of the Lord leads to honor, riches, long and satisfying life. That means you have great relationships, you will have great career, you will have great friendships, you will have great networks, you have a good reputation. Those are things that will just build you up. Right? Even the prudency, where you'll be like, I don't understand this. I need someone who understands this so they can teach me. Then I will prepare for it. If you don't understand the economy, you don't have to understand it all the time. You don't have to understand every area, but you can learn from somebody and say, so what would we do in this situation? That ability to say, I don't know, and ask someone and listen and take their advice. That is humility. And it is a game changer for you in your different areas of life, especially your career and your finances. Yeah. But it says humility and the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is deep. It is providing you a foundation for living. You know that there's a big universe, you have purpose, you have accountability beyond people seeing you. So your standards are not coming from who's seeing you and who's talking to you. Your standards are coming from knowing God. Knowing God is God. Yeah, that is powerful. It gives you grounding, gives you confidence, it gives you security, it gives you a strong why. Now, if you mix humility and the fear of the Lord, you have riches, honor, and a long, satisfying life. That's a promise of the Bible. That's a success strategy right there that we could unpack. And if you take it seriously, fear of the Lord comes from spending time in His Word, giving Him your attention, and it will affect your humility, honestly. Because as God works on you, you become more humble because you know your limits as a person, and you're like, okay, God, you are God, I'm not, Another success strategy, timeless one, is be generous, okay? God cares about the poor people, the people who are lacking in your area. This not just poor financially, poor in any way. So if you are in a position to have abundance, say, of time, abundance of resources, not even abundance, just enough, think of other people. Be generous. Let it be your predisposition. Be a person who sees people's needs and tries to meet them. Your faith should be shared like that. You can share encouragement, you can share resources, whatever it is. Generosity is a powerful tool for making friendships, making connections, and developing your humility and empathy. Those things will go a long way. So God says, be a person who's empathetic. Don't look at someone struggling and you can't even offer a prayer or an encouragement. Be like that. Be generous, okay? The next thing is avoid debt. These are two things, the monetary things. I'll put them in one point. Avoid debt That means the Bible says the rich will rule over the poor. Borrower is a slave to the lender. What else do you need to know? Live within your means, y'all. Live within your means. Otherwise, you'll be slaves. You'll be a servant forever. You'll live paycheck to paycheck. And because you have no capacity to change your life and think through things, because you need the resources, you need the money every month, you won't be able to do anything meaningful with your life, your time, and even your planning, the vacations, the food you eat, what you want to do. You don't have any say over that if you don't manage your resources well. So let's be rich. Let's work on being rich. Honestly, as Christians, we need to shake off this whole idea of I've transcended this. I don't need to be rich. I just no, be rich in whatever rich means to you. It means different things to all of us. But be in a place where money is not an issue. Use your skill and talent enough so that money flows to you, and it is enough for you to take care of your immediate needs. Right? Take care of those around you, to take care of the missions that move you. We're saying be generous. You want to fund school fees for people. You want to help somebody who is in need. You want to just bless your friends and your family. Let's be rich. And being rich, we've talked about humility there. Learning, growing. God says if you are humble and you fear the Lord, you have riches, honor, and a long life. You see, so that's a strategy right there. How is it working in your life? In what area are you humble in to say, I need to learn, I need to improve? Yeah, in your career, how can you get more from there? How can you get more in your business? How can you make more money? Let's think about these things. Let's not just think God will bless us accidentally and it will just blow up. No, let's strategize and say, I'm making this much because I'm doing this. What can I change so that I can make more? Let's be strategic about it, because money affects every area of our lives. And if we're going to be a slave to the lender, that defeats the whole purpose of our freedom. We're being saved to be free, and God says you should dominate, fill the earth, dominate. You are supposed to be a king and rule in an area, but if you make bad financial decisions, you'll be ruled, you'll be overcome, and we don't want to do that, right? So a borrower is a slave to the lender, and the rich rule over the poor. You don't want to be poor forever. Please, let's make changes. And poor doesn't mean you're struggling completely, though you could be. But whatever area, you just come up. Let's get up. Let's triple our income. Like, that's a goal. Let's just triple the income we're making right now. God help us, give us wisdom, and let us do the work to make it happen. Okay. Another thing about the money thing, which is timeless success secret from God, or timeless success strategy from God, is don't give to the rich. Don't give to the rich. Did you know that God said that? It says those who steal from the poor will take advantage of the poor, and then those who give to the rich, both will end in poverty. Can you imagine? How can you give to the rich? You give to the rich if you give to those leaders who keep saying, sow into me, sow into the... Don't give to the rich, right? God has never said anywhere that you should give to somebody to receive their honor or whatever. Give to the poor, give to those who are lacking, but don't give to the rich. You can service, like work for the rich or make deals with the rich, offer value to the rich, but don't give to the rich. I don't know how else to say it. Don't give to people who have already. Don't be in that business of wanting to please the people who have and thinking that somehow you get favors. Don't. Yeah, give to the poor. There's blessing in that. Giving to the rich comes with a curse. You'll be poor. Can you imagine? I've got deep things to say about that, because right now in most churches, it's being taught that if you want to honor your pastor, you have to give money. I don't believe that. I believe that you can honor leaders without money. You can honor and bless your leaders without money. And so many people take lots of the money to just bless a pastor because they're thinking they'll bless me and then I'll have abundance. And I tell you, lots of people are making bad decisions, unwise decisions, with this strategy that is being preached in most Pentecostal churches. And it breaks my heart to see that nothing will come out of that, because there's no blessing that is being attached to you giving money like that to your pastor, to your leader, to the prophet, or whoever. I don't know, man. Use wisdom. Please, let's use wisdom. We work so hard for this money. We work so hard and we're trying to figure things out. We have so many needs and there's no shortcut. There's no shortcut like you give somebody and it will come back. No, you need to learn to manage. This is why there's a whole book of Proverbs where God is encouraging us to be diligent, that the wealth of those people who don't want get rich quick schemes, that their wealth, their outcomes are going to compound. But these people who want quick schemes, even if it means you think I'll tithe and I'll get rich, or I'll give my pastor and I'll get rich, if you're looking for those quick shortcuts, you're going to straight parking. You have your special parking in poverty. That's what the Bible says. So please don't give to the rich. Honor them, but you can honor without money, right? Use your money wisely. Okay. And then Another thing is do excellent work. It says, if you see a man who's excellent in their work, they will serve kings. They'll not serve ordinary men. That is really powerful. If you want to be elevated, promoted, if you want to operate at a high level in your business, you want to serve better customers and everything like that, then do excellent work. Work on your customer service in your business. Care about your customers. Care about the people you're servicing as an employee, even your stakeholders. Care about that. Put your heart in there. And as you do excellent work, doors begin to open for you. You won't be excellent serving people down there. No, you will not be excellent getting puny pay. You will rise up to the top. You can't be ignored for long. And if people are ignoring you, God opens doors, man. Do excellent work and you'll see God open amazing doors. Yeah, I hope that was helpful for you. These are timeless success strategies from God. Please read Proverbs 22 for yourself. Was it 22? Yes, it was 22. Read it for yourself. Take it seriously. Apply it. Spend time with God, and it will change your life. It really will. It's changing mine, growing, learning, and God is good. God is still good. All right. I wish you all the best. May God bless you. May He increase you, and may He answer you and fight all your battles. Talk to you soon tomorrow for Proverbs 20. Bye.